issue. But again, how these guys will respond in 80,000 people at Williams-Brice Stadium, I don't know. But I do know what I like, some of the things I'm seeing in practice. We are a very thin football team. We can't afford any injuries. And we've got to have some guys come through, which I think they're capable. But have they done it on game day? No. So we need to do it on game day.
Is there any insight you can give us into kind of your guys' plan for the satellite camps?
Again, we're going to meet as a staff tomorrow about some things, and I've got some ideas that we've already kind of discussed as far as maybe going to some areas, obviously Charlotte, Atlanta, and Jacksonville, getting into Florida a little bit. But again, I think the huge selling point for us in South Carolina is getting a young man on our campus, because we have a beautiful campus. We have a great situation with Columbia and the city of Columbia. I think there's so many positive things going with that, and we've got a lot of guys that are going to be on our campus. But certainly, we will take advantage of being able to go off campus and evaluate players.
What did Daniel Fennell kind of show you over the course of spring to kind of get that first team out?
I think work ethic was something I was really pleased with. Consistency in his performance, came out, worked every day. Again, a guy that's got a lot of character and got some toughness about him. A lot of the things, intangible things that we want in our program, he possesses.
You've talked about how impressive it is as a fan base. How impressive that both of these events have been sold out so far? Well,
again, that goes to the most loyal fan base in the country, and I really appreciate them. And we want to be accessible to them as much as possible, and then come to these things. These are very important to me.
You spoke highly of the tight ends for most of the spring. NFL draft starts tonight. The first Gamecock player taking the draft will likely be a tight end, Jarrell Adams. Man, what impact would that have on you guys recruiting tight ends? And is that how important is it? Has the importance of tight end gone up in recent years in college football?
Well, again, tight ends are very difficult to find, because right now in high school football, they're playing wide out, or they're blocking at the point of attack, but they're not doing both things. To be able to find a guy that can do both things, Jarrell can do both things, and I played against Jarrell. He's a really good football player. I really like Hayden Hurst and KC Crosby. Those are two guys. Again, you're talking about a guy that I think have started 2 games, and one has started 3. So they don't have a lot of experience, but I think they're good football players. But I do feel very good about Evan Henson and Robert Tucker, 2 young men that we signed. Kyle Markway's done some really nice things. Excited about him, and so I feel good about us moving forward at the position and with the guys that we have.
The fact that Hayden's an older guy, having spent 3 or 4 years in minor league baseball, I mean, does that help him?
Well, the maturity. It's just maturity. So much of coming into a situation has to do with maturity. Has to do with a guy that has been through transition, has been through change, has been through a lot of those things, and that goes with maturity.
Do you have any plans in terms of watching the draft throughout, being that you've got a number of Florida guys who are probably going to be picked?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to call those guys once they get drafted. I've talked about every NFL team, in the last month or two about our guys and guys at Auburn and guys that I've recruited. There's a lot of coaches and general managers that trust me, and I've recruited a lot of these guys, whether or not I signed them or not, or I competed against them. So I get a lot of phone calls about the type young man, and I've been in the homes of a lot of these young men, so you get a lot of phone calls.
Obviously not necessarily your players here at South Carolina, but how important is the NFL draft weekend for your program?
No doubt. I mean, you look at Jarrell and Pharaoh, and Brandon Shell's got a lot of positive. Mike Matulis is a guy that was in the weight room today. Hopefully we'll get an opportunity. So there's no doubt we're pulling for all of those guys. And TJ Gurley was with graduation the other day. I thought was a really good football player for us. Made a lot of plays for South Carolina. So I hope all those guys get a great opportunity.
With DeMarcus King, tweeting out when he's going to arrive here, how much does adding a corner like that kind of help the cornerback spot, where you move a number 1 down to a number 2, number 2 down to a 3 like that?
Well, he'll have to create that when he gets on the practice field. That won't happen until he gets on the practice field, if he earns that opportunity. So, but there's no doubt of having him in camp before, which we've had. He's got really good tape. He's got length. He's got all the critical factors at the position to be successful. It certainly will help our football team.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Thank y'all very much.